me to take it home.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I think what many of us, if you've been paying attention in the news, I want to start with quarterbacks, right? And namely two quarterbacks that have, in ways from pundits and analysts, uh, have had the goalposts moved on them multiple times in multiple ways.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not tracking, if you haven't paid attention to what's been happening in the news in the sports world between Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson, it is amazing to see that what in today's time, what has transpired and taken place. I don't think this is the first time that things like this has happened. I think now with the invent of everyone wanting to have their 15 minutes of fame, we're able to see and hear more things that were kept in-house make it forward, because people are wanting to break news. They're wanting to, go viral. And in some ways, in things, there's a gift and a curse. In some ways, people are wanting to expose something intentionally, right? And it's a benefit in some ways, because we're getting to see the other side of sports, that when narratives were created, they could paint the person a certain way until they get to tell their story, or we catch a 30 for 30, or we catch behind the scenes of something to get the full context. But in this instant, man, this is the dirty side of the business. When they say sports business, we're seeing the business side and the dirty games.
But you know what it is?
Played.
You know what it is? Even though it's not the government, it's politics. It's politics and everything.
Politics as usual, as Jay-Z.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Good bar. Yeah. So politics. It's politics and everything. No matter when it's money involved, it's politics involved. Just get that. It's money involved, it's politics involved, and then we're dealing with brass tacks politics right now when it comes down to these two guys. So we're going to start this segment off. We're going to start the show off by doing a segment called "The Disrespect."
Yeah.
So we're going to start with Russell Wilson versus Sean Payton.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been paying attention, if you haven't watched, the news, you haven't watched ESPN, Fox News, whatever popular podcasts out there, Rich Eisen, whoever you follow, right? Even Uncle Ocho at night, their nightcap show. If you haven't watched any of that, you missed some vital, I guess you can say revelations when it comes down to the rift between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So what has happened here recently is, a lot of things have come out in the news, and a lot of things that we kind of just it's one of those things where it really didn't sit well with us, how things were moving and how things were going. Like, it was kind of an awkward situation ever since Russ has been in Denver.
Yeah,
but you just didn't know exactly what was going on behind the curtain.
Right.
So now we know. So we have basically gotten to the point now where we understand that Russell Wilson has been at odds with not only Sean Payton, but the organization, or Sean Payton is the representative of the organization. Let's say it that way, because I'm not sure if, based upon who the GM is and who the owners are now, do they really have an issue with Russell Wilson per se? I think it's Sean Payton driving this train.
Right.
So he has gone on record as saying, well, we can read the report that says that he was approached by the team and organization asking him to basically void and restructure his deal to void his injury guarantees in, I want to say, mid part of the season, rather than win the Chiefs game when they beat the Chiefs the first time. And Russell being Russell, he said no. Why would I do that? And then they said, well, if you don't, we will likely bench you, in basically saying in a roundabout way that we don't want to pay you this money if you get hurt. So we're going to bench you so you don't get hurt. This is a Derek Carr situation all over again, just a year later. Same thing they did with Derek Carr, the Raiders. So now we at the cusp of a rift, because it's not legal by NFLPA standards to basically threaten a man's benching to not guarantee his incentives in his contract.
Yeah.
So the NFL, his agent, player association, all that stuff got involved, and all of a sudden, we have this, controversy. And despite the fact that they were, still in the playoff hunt, Sean Payton decided to air quote bench Russell Wilson in favor of Jarrett Stidham.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you look at I guess you can say, look at the details of this whole ordeal. Russell was taken off guard, disappointed, and very shocked by the benching. He said we had, some special things going. We were rolling a little bit. We did have some adversity we faced throughout the season, but he thought that they were still in it. And it just got to the point where they said, well, he's healthy at this point. We need to go ahead and bench him before we run into a situation where he does get hurt.
Yep.
Wild situation. So I'm gonna start with you.
Yeah.
You tell me exactly, what your takeaway from this situation is and how you feel about it. And I'll give you mine, and we can basically break down exactly how we got here and where we looking like moving forward.
So I'll say this, and if you've been paying attention, I'm going to echo some of the sentiments that other analysts have said. I'm going to start with what Ryan Clark said. They found the right one, right, with Russell Wilson, and that in no way is a knock to Russell in any sort of way right now with saying they found the right one. What I'm meaning is, and the same thing like Ryan said, there's not been a person more professional. There's not been a person more upstanding. There hasn't been a person that has better represented and kept the big picture in the front than Russell Wilson.
He's been presidential. Let's just put it
presidential.
That's what a franchise quarterback's supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
To be presidential, right? He's supposed to be quarterbacky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely been that. That's definitely not a question.
Yeah. Yeah. And so when you look, right, I'm not even going to say right or wrong. When you look, he has fallen on a sword that he didn't have to. Now, strategically, he has allowed other people to become his allies, right? Because he has been so professional, so big picture. Some of the things that people have knocked Russell for has been a strength for himself right now, because he said where a lot of people could have said, in the words of the former first lady, when they go low, where some people would be like, I'm gonna go lower. He did go high. He's echoed that sentiment, right? He said the most right things. He's been a franchise front-facing type of quarterback. He's basically been, and I know there's been reports of, all the things that are supposed to have been happening with him being alienated, him not being a team member, him, sending people through agents and third-party people to get to him and having his own office and all those things have been reported. But what has happened has brought into question, is that really him, or is that the organization, whoever, sullying his name to create this narrative, right? But what he has done by being steadfast and being the right one, he's allowed other people to come to his defense and say, listen, you don't treat people like this. If you want to bench him, bench him. If you feel like he's not going to be the face of your organization and you're going to go a different direction, in all ways, you have that right. But when it comes to how you treat a human being, there is let's treat you with respect. And if you've noticed the sideline interactions, you don't have to be in the organization to see that this has been a coach who has at every turn somehow felt like, I have to stamp that I am the head honcho, the numero uno, the what they call it, I am the judge, the jury, and the executioner in this situation. Because here's the one thing that you can say. You've never seen Sean Payton kirk out on Drew Brees like that.
No.
You've never seen Sean Payton ridicule, disrespect, get in front on live TV of his quarterback at that time. And it doesn't matter if you have plans on separating, you have plans on working to rid the contract. There's still a way that at the end of the day, this is someone that is leading your organization. And we all know how the mental of a quarterback that is facing 300-pound linebackers running 4.3s, 4.4s, 4.5 that want to take his head off, right? That now you're wanting him also to go out and lead the team to win. You've never seen this done like this. You've never seen it from Drew Brees, that he did Drew Brees like this. If you wanted to get rid of him, I went back and looked at their record, right, when it's all supposed to happen. So they went on, and we said, hey, what's going on in Denver? After the Chiefs lost, they beat the Packers, they beat the Chiefs again, they beat the Bills, they beat the Vikings, they beat the Browns, and then they lost to the Texans. So they went 5-1 over 6 games. When they lost to the Chiefs, per report, if you didn't want Russell to continue being the face of your organization, if you wanted this injury contract to, that, hey, we don't want to pay you if you get injured, so we want this restructuring, you could have sat him right then, and people would have said, cool. He hasn't been playing. The team, he could have used the same thing that he said with Stidham. Hey, we're looking for a spark for the offense. No, you let 6 games go.
Let me stop you there, because let's be honest about the whole situation. There's no spark in Jerry Stidham. Okay,
we know that. We know that.
That's just a cover up for your reasoning for doing what you did.
Yeah,
Russell Wilson gives you the best opportunity to win games,
without a doubt.
Because again, like I said, I guess you weren't expecting him to. Although this situation came up when you beat the Chiefs, when they weren't expecting you to do that.
Right.
You weren't expecting him to go 5-1 in that stretch. I'm assuming. I would assume you wait for them to lose a couple of games, and then you can justify benching him. Yeah. But he just kept winning, so you couldn't justify benching him because he was winning. It didn't make any sense. Like, why would you bench somebody that's going 5-1 his last 6 games?
Yeah,
it don't make any sense. So the moment they started to lose is when he can come up with the idea. Him probably praying in his office every night saying that, man, each game we winning, but hopefully he don't get hurt, because again, if he gets hurt, we basically on the hook for this money.
Yeah.
But you got to realize, and then I don't know, this is my problem with the whole situation. Whether George Payton, I think George Payton is their GM. Whether George Payton was the financier or the culprit when it comes down to giving Russell this deal, right?
Yeah.
Whether that is true or not, you knew that going in, Sean. Like, you wasn't bombarded or blindsided with the idea that Russell's going to get his contract. Like, you walked in the door with him having that contract.
Yeah.
So if you had a problem with it from jump, and it was going to be very punitive for you to get out of it, why'd you take the jump? If you knew Russell wasn't your guy in the first place.
Yeah.
So you basically understand that, you've been, at least the Saints organization has been, been very, I guess you can say, savvy with the cap, and they've been, be able to figure things out in large space. And when it comes down to certain things, but that his contract is like, this is be the most dead money that you have to pay out for a quarterback if they cut him in all season. Like, it's be unprecedented.
Yeah.
So rather than, putting your pride aside and trying to work with the man, you went in with the attitude that he wasn't your guy from the rip.
And on top of that, not only did you knock Russell, you knocked and disrespected and talked sideways about the prior staff as well.
Yep.
Which is why Aaron Rodgers came out like, keep my basically my coordinator out your mouth. Yeah. So you knocked and said everything, but like you said, you walked into it knowing the contract was there, the player was there, what they signed, how long they signed, and you basically are almost about to be on the hook for $76 million. Well, Russell's already got this contract.
Yeah, and $85 million dead money.
Listen, I'm gonna say this real quick, throw it back over to you. I more understand why Russell stood on business using that term, because I tell you what, he was smart enough to get that contract airtight.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He wasn't that dumb. He was smart enough that, hey, okay, you cut me, you want to.
Right, yeah. Good luck.
In the words of Denzel, I'm leaving here with something.
Facts. I'm frowned away. I'm leaving.
Yeah. I'm leaving with something.
I'm leaving with something. So yeah, I can sit on the couch and make $85 million over the next few
Come on,
years.
man.
I mean, come on. I'm 35. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Listen, by the time that money run, I'll be in my 40s.
Yeah. And
So
I like what he said right there. I wasn't going to take away injury guarantees. The game is such a physical game. I played for 12 years, and that matters to me. Let's translate that. I ain't no dummy.
I mean, come on now. I mean, let's just put it on the carpet where it needs to be. Okay.
Yeah.
You're not going to willfully and I guess you can say volunteer for the idea that I'm going to wipe away my injury guarantees when I wanted that in my contract to begin with. Like I wanted that clause and you gave it to me. So I'm not going to let you take it away from me in a game that's 100% injury rate. I'm not going to do that. And you see the myriad of injuries the quarterback took just this year.
Yeah.
Like we literally almost at half of the quarterbacks in the NFL and 30 teams, all of them, half of them are backups at this point.
Yeah.
Half of them are backups at this point. So why the hell would I do away with the injury clause just because you want me to? What kind of fool would you take me for?
I was born at night, but not last night.
Exactly. So why the hell would I do that? Just to make it easier for you to cut me. That's what it boils down to. Let's just put it plain. You wanted me to make it easier for you to cut me. That's all it was. You want me to do away with that $39 million, so it'll make it easier and less punitive for you to cut me when you want to let me go and get somebody else in my place.
Yep.
So I don't get the whole idea of why they thought this was going to work. He was going to go for it. I mean, again, Russell's a nice guy. He's a nice guy, but he ain't this nice. I mean, I'm going to protect myself. I got a wife and kids.
Come on now.
To look after. Why the hell would I, risk life and limb and have no guarantees in my contract just because you want me to? And again, you talking about getting rid of me in their own right. So why the hell would I do that?
Yeah. I'm gonna leave it with something. I ain't playing around with you with you folks like that. And again, I'll say this, and I believe this: you're coaching it or condoning it, even if this is Sean Payton. As owners, this is the person representing your franchise. This is the person that is front facing of how you are going to allow your organization to be run. So you gave Sean Payton all this power and all this, ability and flexibility to go left and right. Understand, players are going to do certain things because there's only so many spots in the NFL. But I tell you what, it's certain players that are going to look at Denver totally different. When you talk about, well, we can't get rid of the whole offensive line, when you talk about the receivers that are there, basically, in so many words, what you're saying is everybody's here is not the people that I want, and I'm going to work to figure out how to get rid of them and bring in my type of players. But understand, you got to uproot a lot of people. And how much dead money are the Waltons going to be willing to sit on? And I'm more disappointed in John Elway as well. You're a player and you're a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what you're signing off of, a coach who I know. Mike Shanahan was a tough coach, yes. But John Elway, you cannot tell me you would allow this to happen.
Oh no.
With Mike, but Mike Shanahan wouldn't have came at it like this. He might have been, he's firm, but he's fair, right? He's equal across the board, and he's going to tell you what he wants and what he expects, but he's going to respect you. And if he doesn't like what you provide, he just got rid of you. Right. We've heard reports of that, but what he wouldn't have done is disrespected you
publicly
in this way, publicly this way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is my thing. We can close on this because I want to move on to Lamar. You should have, and I really have lost, a good amount of respect for Sean Payton. I lost a lot of respect for McDaniels when he did it to Derek Carr last year. And I lost respect for Payton and how he handled the situation. Again, you don't berate and browbeat your franchise quarterback. And again, you came into the situation knowing that Russ was going to be on a contract. And let's be real. You can say what you want about Russell Wilson, his height, his stature, his ability to see certain things, whatever you want to give him. But let's be honest. Russell Wilson is clearly better than most options you're going to have going forward for the next 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Oh, without a doubt.
So what you should have gone into the situation with is like this. You should have gone into the situation saying that I am going to do what I have to do to make him work for the couple 2 to 3 years, to kind of work this contract to the point where I can move it.
Yeah.
Work with him, win games, and build around him and build the people I want, in and around him on a cheaper scale. And then once find a successor, groom him, and then when Russell's gone, then you can pick up with who you want to. But again,
yep.
You going into the situation trying to get rid of him before the contract even kicks in, it's just bush league, and I don't appreciate it at all. And again, the disrespect that Russell Wilson's been taken, like you said, you pick on, this is the Draymond Green situation for me. Like you always picking on people that won't publicly or physically fight back with you.
Yeah.
Because Russell's a nice guy, church man, Christian, he's deep in his faith, family man, he's presidential. He's not a street dude.
And top 10 in the league when you look at stats. 6-3. When have you ever seen a quarterback benched in 9 games? They go 6-3.
Exactly. So again, we know what the truth of the matter is.
Made me take my glasses off, man. Like I said, like we said it behind the scenes, man. F the Broncos.
Yes.
F what they stand on. F everything.
Label and a mother effing crew.
Yes.
Yes.
That's how I feel right now. I hope you lose every other game.
Every game. Every game. And
I was mad that they won last week.
That's a division rival, so I ain't losing no damn sleep.
Yeah.
You lose everything.
Yeah.
I hope you get athlete's foot on top of that.
Hope you can't find your car keys.
Right. I hope you fall in the toilet bowl because the toilet seat up.
Hope you go to have some milk and cereal and your milk spoil.
Yeah. Ooh, that's right. Yeah, that's a bad day. That's a bad day.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
all right. Okay. So again, the rest of the situation is madness. It really is.
Yeah.
I don't I don't want to belabor the point too for much, but
right.
And then the fact that Sean Payton tried to clean this up and give me some BS reason why he was doing this based upon the fact that look, man had 3,000 yards, 26 touchdowns on 8 interceptions.
Come on, man. That's right. That's top 10 in the league right now.
That's damn near Pro Bowl caliber. Look, based on a lot of way the league is running right now.
Yeah. We ain't even adding in his rushing yards.
Yeah. And then with Jared Stidham, who ain't never been anybody's good backup. Come on now. Cut it out.
Come on.
Let's cut it out.